Alright, here we are. Shatter Temple. This is the newest map that Blizzard has added. It is the exact same as the Lost Temple with a few changes. Only one Xel'Naga watchtower in the middle, and the island expansions in the top left and bottom right are accessible through land now, through destructible rocks. Meanwhile, we have the pink Protoss starting in the right-hand side of the map. He is... Morbis from our fictional team, Liquid. Meanwhile, we have the blue Protoss in the top part of the map. Number 1 in the Bronze League, he is.
Fictional Team Liquid for the King.
Fictional Team Liquid for the King. These players starting super close to each other. I don't know. If I see this, if I scout this early enough, I go Void Race? What do you say?
I mean, definitely, you know, cheese is very tasty, but it's not the best in StarCraft 2 unless you want to win right away, and I think Void Race would be a good call here. I don't know if it'll necessarily work. These players are very skilled, you know, so I think they'll be able to handle it pretty well and fend that off their soul.
Meanwhile, we've got For the King scouting the right expansion first, and Morbis
very nice
taking the long way around. For the King getting some good information here. Let me throw up the production tab for you guys. And this awesome... right there in the top, see the players' names and their food. For the King looks like he might be foregating with the tricky little hidden pylon down there in the bottom. We'll see what happens.
Very tricky pylon, and I like to point out that Morbis is playing as the pink Protoss, and he's not serving any justice. He still hasn't found For the King. I think For the King might just tell him where he is, because he's never going to find him. He's a hide-and-seek champion of StarCraft 2, hiding in the Lost Temples. Very nice play from For the King.
Here comes this pink little probe. Pew! Finally finding For the King. And For the King queuing out a couple Zealots. Cybernetics core finishing. And
taking 2 probes off the mineral line to kill that pink probe.
For the King does not like...
He's just going to be a pain in the ass.
...to be scouted.
Yeah, you didn't even bring food for him.
Morbis...
Oh, that probe's going to get sliced!
Morbis starts the warp gate upgrade before For the King. For the King might be a little distracted by trying to take this probe out. If he's going to 4-gate, he needs to get that warp gate research quickly. He doesn't have the gas for it, though. And finally he does, and as soon as he gets it, it begins a little stutter in his build there. Meanwhile, Morbis not 4-gating.
Robo.
Yep, Robo. Still has not spotted this rogue pylon. You know, I don't like saying proxy. Proxy pylon, proxy racks, proxy this, proxy that. Fuck proxy. This is rogue. It's a rogue pylon down here.
It's definitely true there, and you know, Robo's been very successful in history, and we've had RoboCop, we've had iRobot, and the Robo build, and I think it's going to do well for this pink Protoss player. Took 4 minutes to scout the blue Protoss player.
Isn't it nice? Doesn't that just roll off the tongue? Wait a minute. For the King. I like how For the King tries to hide his gateways in a not very hidden spot up here in the top left. It's okay, though. Those Zealots at his entrance should stop any kind of scouting. Meanwhile, Morbis taking the Xel'Naga in the middle. He will see this coming and might be able to prepare for it. Morbis does have an observer
might see
out.
it coming unless For the King goes in the high grass.
I'm gonna follow this observer here and see what Morbis sees. If he scouts this, it may not work very well. Uh-oh. Moving that observer around doesn't check the area that I made fun of For the King for putting his gateways at. He's looking for something, though. He doesn't see anything, and he's really looking for it. And if he's paying attention to the mini-map, he sees the Zealots moving towards his base. He took the long way around, though. He might see it a little too late. And he does.
Now, and this is not looking good for the pink Protoss.
Here comes For the King. Oh, and if he can take out that Immortal, it might be very good. The Immortal turns around, but For the King has the high ground now, just marching straight into his base and going right for the mineral line. Very, very smart. Zealot's taking out some of this pylon action. Morbis warping in some units.
Being warped in.
For the King needs to back
Morbis
up.
might hold this off if he can micro a little bit.
For the King needs to take out that Immortal. And he's targeting the Immortal down. Uh-oh. This is not looking good for Morbis.
This is not looking good at all. The Harvester now coming off the mineral line. Again, some feeding, some getting food, some running around aimlessly. I don't know what they're doing. Some eating away at the Zealot's leg.
For the King needs to finish off these Stalkers, and it's not looking good. More troops coming in For the King, and that's going to be GG. There's not much Morbis can do. For the King taking out these pylons pretty badly. Those 2 Stalkers go down, only a handful of Zealots left. Meanwhile, For the King warping in even more units, and man.
Such a good hiding spot.
That was
a great hiding spot.
That was a good hiding spot. These probes trying to move out.
Zealots running
in
right
vain.
by, waving at him, saying no thank. Probes, all with food in their hands. Where are they donating this food to?
Morbis,
high school can drive.
Morbis understands the seriousness of the situation, and he does not want to give up. He will be knocked out of this tournament, and man, not quite what you want to see.
Have a proxy pile. 10 minutes into the map, I think. Oh, he found For the King's hiding spot. It's a little too late. The probe's coming in to say hello to this pylon, zapping it away. The Observer. Oh, and there's a lull from Morbis. He realizes he might lose this game.
Morbis with the GG.
He finds a hiding spot.
For the King with the
that
win.
Stalker's gonna get zapped.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna get zapped. That Stalker stands no chance. Oh! The Immortal just running into the... He's not even shooting. He's running out of bullets. There he goes. Two-shotting these probes. Ooh, and I think they're gonna zap this Electro robot down, and
the Immortal goes
down. But the probes get pissed! Well, some of them carrying green boxes, some of them carrying blue boxes. What are they doing next? Chasing them through a racetrack here, and the pink Protoss seems to be winning, but just getting zapped, and this Observer just not helping the probes out at all.
Here
not
goes
giving them a lift.
The final pylon For the King, victorious and moving on to the round of 8.